Howdy everyone, it's Brown with a voice for the very first time, and for a good reason. Just the other day on Reddit, I posted my most recent Dong Dong Never Die tier list. I'll link the text post down below in the description. If you don't know what Dong Dong Never Die is, it's a Chinese fighting game with a surprising lack of polish and a lot of stolen assets from 2009. Despite all this, I actually really like it. It plays smoothly and has a certain charm for its crazy unbalance. Since there's not a lot of English resources for this game, if any at all, I thought I'd record my own video detailing this list in some depth. I've played these characters for many hours, so I have an extensive knowledge of each character. However, I won't go into too character specific because of my limited technology. But if you want to see gameplay analysis, let me know in the comments. Also, forgive me if I pronounce any Chinese names wrong, I don't know the language. I've also linked in the description a way to get this game for free, so you can test it out. Without further ado, let's jump into the tier list, starting with the first character, and an unplayable one at that, Tuolei, or Bandit. Bandit is a character you encounter on the story mode, as he is not selectable from the main roster. You can get him through going in the game files, but even if you did, his moveset is incomplete. He only has a few select moves for the fight against the player, and even they aren't that good. He's forgettable, and not even worth hacking to get. Now the first tier I have is F tier. These two characters are either the worst in the game, or with the knowledge we have now, or we have yet to find an exploit that pushes them into a higher tier. The first F tier is Zhao Pan, or Guile. As the name implies, he's a clone of Guile, but a sucky one. All of Guile's specials transfer over, but none of them are exceptional. His flash kick is slow and smaller than it looks. His fireball is also small and doesn't rival the other great projectiles in this game, and his normals tend to be slower than most, giving him a rough neutral. To top it off, his super isn't that good either. It's honestly sad watching this guy. Hopefully he finds an exploit soon. The second member of F tier is Sun Wukong, or Monkey. Sun Wukong has much better normals than Guile, but his neutral game lacks immensely. His supers are okay, but none are game-breakingly good compared to the rest of the cast. The lack of a great neutral tool like a fireball or a game exploit makes this character lack, but at least his normals are fine for a low tier. The next is E tier, more usable than F, but still not something that stacks up well in this messy game. The first in E, and my first main in Dong Dong, is JJ, whose name I kept the same in English because it sounds cool, and it reflects how cool he is. He has flashy normals with his inner tube, and flashy supers to match. Unfortunately, that's where it ends. His specials are really slow and have lots of end lag, and frankly, the rest of his moves. His entire kit is super punchable, so you have to play him perfectly. His normals and specials are big to make up for it, but he's limited to E tier in my eyes in playtime. The second member of E tier is Yin Yin, or Cowgirl. Cowgirl is a fan favorite due to her aggressive grappler playstyle and blatant sex appeal, but I see her for what she really is, a grappler without an approach option. Sure, she has the second best command grab in the game, but with no armor whatsoever, she has frankly no protection, so she's walled by fireballs. But that's her only good tool, so Cowgirl dittos just become like Dive Kick, only using one move. Her normals and supers lack, which hold her back. Next is D tier, which I'd consider low mid. These characters, while not outright bad, are too normal to function outside the high-octane Dong Dong meta. The first character is the poster boy Dong Dong. Dong Dong is a classic Shoto character with a fireball, Tatsu, and DP, but what he really lacks is anything special. His stats are average, his normals, specials, and supers are all just average. There's nothing that pushes him to greatness, which holds him back. Next up is Wo Chai Ren, or Stickman. While being another Shoto, he has a few things that goes above Dong Dong. First, his normals are bigger, which helps him a lot in neutral, and his hammer super is a good combo ender, which complements the jump exploit. I'll explain the jump exploit in another video. These two combined make him a better Shoto. But he's not the best Shoto in D tier, however. That belongs to Ah Shuang, or Palpatine. He gains the nickname from a tool that puts him above Stickman and Dong Dong, his great super, which we call the Unlimited Power. A giant lightning bolt that covers nearly the entire screen comes in handy when tiering you, but again, he's far too normal for the game, but just special enough to be pushed to the top of D. Now in C, we get to the characters who have one special gimmick that makes them fine, but the rest is average to make them a good mid-tier. The first C tier is Zhang Bao, or Kicks. The name comes from his two Tatsu moves for no apparent reason. What puts him in C, though, is his unblockable super, which only misses if you jump. This is a great disruption tool, but the rest of his kit is normal. Even his specials are just two of the same thing. I honestly forget he's in the game sometime if that speaks to anything. Next up is Ken, and that's not even false advertising. He's just Ken from Street Fighter. But he's not like the other Shotos, you'd say. What comes to his rescue is his Tatsumaki. His Tatsumaki is a combo starter, a combo ender, and a combo extension tool. This makes his neutral strong but predictable. With normal and special moves outside of that, like a normal Shoto, he makes his mark in C tier. After him is the puppet character Moshushi or Bible. Reading his Bible allows him to summon monsters for his neutral. The noble ones being Snowman, which covers ground, and Thunder God, which covers aerial approach. While his keep away game is one of the best in the game, he can't fight up at all close. His normals and specials are weak up close, and they're very slow. Even his supers are keep away tools. This niche design makes him a good C tier rep. Next up is the dynamic duo Jimei Hua or Nurses. Nurses function as the M. Bison clone of the game, and a scary one at that. Their Psycho Crusher is great in neutral, and their Scalpel Super does a lot of health. But outside of that and a few big normals, they lack in what doing other characters can do better. They're just not gimmicky enough to be higher than C. The last C rep is Liu Mong or Soccer Guy. He's the game's Sagat clone, with a high-low fireball that defines his neutral game alongside a super with multi-hit wrenches. While his neutral game is great like Sagat's, his normals lack the range and power that defines a good Sagat. This makes him the top of C tier, and was even B tier last time I made this before. Now we're on to B tier. This is where I'd say characters start to get really good and exploit the game hard. Most of my friends, including myself, main B tiers. The first B tier is Fei Fei or Ice Girl. Ice Girl's defining feature is her freezing super, which locks the opponent into place if it hits. If you have enough of these built up, you can start an infinite combo using the jump exploit and infinitely freeze the opponent until you run out of meter. It's super nice, but you do need a lot of meter to pull it off, and the rest of her kit, while similar to Yorigami's, is lacking. This is about as high as I'll put her for now. B tier number 2 is Wu Liaojun or Stretch. His name comes from his long normals and great specials, but that's not all. His Fireball super is plus on block and covers jump, so you're at his bidding when he has meter. It's almost better to get hit by it sometimes. While his super is great, his get-in options besides that sometimes aren't the best, so B is where he lies. Next up on the list is the smooth criminal. It's Delon or Jackson. Jackson's main calling card is his Swagger alongside his command grab super, which on most characters does half their health bar. Easily one of the best supers in the game. Outside of that, he has a great Tatsu and a good triple attack with his fireball input. His only downfall is if you miss his super, he becomes pretty flimsy until he gets more. After Da is my main, Miao Huitang or Flower Girl. This character is everything I love. A strong fireball with multiple hits, a get off me super with Optimus Prime, and a cute girl nonetheless. Her flaws come from the input algorithm, which likes to input her DP instead of fireball sometimes, and her DP is pretty lousy. Other than that, and iffy normals, she's a good character. Next on the tier list is Zhuge Liang or Priest. Priest gameplay boils down to 2 moves, his Dragon Punch and his Arrow Super. His Dragon Punch is large and fast, which shuts down approaches that he doesn't like. His Arrow Super comes when you mash a ton of hitboxes, and overheads at that. Neutral against Priest is hard, but like Bible, once you get in through his uppercut, he can't do much at close range. The best B tier in the game, and a video gaming icon, is Mario. Mario, you'd never guess, plays like a Kuma with a Mario skin on top. While being a character from a good game is nice, that's not what's best. What's best is his height, and he's really short. His crouch, and sometimes his stand, can low profile most projectiles in the game, making his neutral much stronger than most, plus the added combos of Akuma. Next up is the A tier. These are the best legal characters in the game. I'll jump into my illegal ones later. The first A tier is Zhanxi Long or Helmet. I've had this character high from the beginning of the game, with a few moves called Heavy Punch. Standing Heavy Punch hits longer than every normal in the game, and it's mirrored for his crouch and jumping. He also is equipped with a strong command grabs if close, but that's not all. While labbing this character, some friends and I came across a Touch of Death combo you can do exploiting the jump exploit. While a tight window, Helmet can kill any character provided he has 1 bar of super and can get in. I'll describe how to do that in a Helmet-specific video if I ever do one later. Next up is the Terminator, and he's back for sure. He has a deceptively large and fast fireball, and a super calling upon the power of his 5 buddies that doesn't damage scale at all. Pair that with large normals and more good supers after his best one, and what appears to be a normal character is a monster jack of all trades unlike most of his A-tier brethren. Next in A tier is an unexpected one for most, it's Ming Boy. With the lowest stat total in the game, bad normals and bad specials, why is Ming Boy so high? Easy, his paper airplane super. If you try and jump over this paper airplane, it will hit you, and if Ming Boy walks beside it, prepare to lose 3/4 of your health bar to it. So let's say you block. Remember how Stretch's super was plus on block? So is Ming Boy's. And Ming Boy's throw can sometimes knock you into the same plane you're actively trying to dodge, causing you to lose that health. Hope and pray you get a bad bounce to fall out of this behemoth super. The last A tier and the best legal character in the game is none other than Goki. His normals are good, he has multiple good projectiles, a command grab, and the best of all, a time-slowing super. It doesn't matter if it hits you or not, it slows down time for a while no matter what. And the game is programmed means blocking will be nearly impossible while he rampages your soon-to-be dead character. The only thing keeping Goki legal is the amount of execution required to play him well. But once this community gets good, he might be suspect for a ban. Now let's do a quick run-through of my banned characters. Violent Dong Dong has a super that hits anywhere on the screen and combos out of most of his moves, alongside a huge fireball, fantastic anti-air, and a get-up attack that no other character has. Shenghua Nan, or Mask, has a touch of death out of one super if you time it correctly, but this time it isn't that hard. Pair that with self-healing that you can't be hit out of, and an infinite kick special, and you have the best character in the game bar none. And that'll do it for this video. If you want to see character-specific videos in the future, or a video post about certain mechanics in this game, let me know in the comments. Also, if you liked this video and want to help out the scraps of the Dong Dong Never Die community, like this video and join my obscure PC games Discord that I've linked in the description. Any more players will help this game get out there. Thank you for making it this whole way, and I hope to see you all in the future.